The office building where I worked has 4 underground levels. Everyone parks on level 1 or 2. Level 3 is usually empty, mostly used for storage. And then there's level -4. They started building it years ago, but abruptly stopped and sealed it off. You couldn't even get there by elevator, the button was removed, and the stairwell was always locked. Nobody ever went down there. It was nearly 2 a.m. I'd pulled a double shift and my brain was a fog of caffeine and exhaustion. I walked into the elevator, pressed -1 for the main parking level, and closed my eyes for a second. I opened my eyes and my heart dropped. Painted in faded red on the concrete wall outside the glass was level -4. I frantically hit the close door button and smashed the button for level 1. I was terrified because I knew for a fact that button -4 didn't exist in this elevator. I didn't even know the lift could go that deep. The doors hissed shut, the elevator moved up for a few seconds, then jolted to a halt. It started descending again. The doors opened and once again I was staring at that blood-red -4. I pressed the call button. Nothing. The garage was in total darkness. The silence was so heavy I could hear the blood thumping in my own ears. I took one trembling step forward. Click. A single fluorescent tube flickered to life above me. It hummed with a high-pitched electric buzz that made my teeth ache. I took another step. Click. The next light turned on. But then I froze. 20 yards ahead, in the pitch black, another light turned on. Click. Something was moving towards me. "Hello?" I called out. The response wasn't a voice. It was a sound I will never forget. The sound of long, sharp fingernails slowly, agonizingly, dragging across a concrete pillar. The lights behind me began to shut off, one by one. The darkness was reclaiming the space faster than I could move. I turned and sprinted back to the elevator, but the doors were shut. I pulled out my phone. No signal. I started screaming, pounding on the elevator doors. "Help me! Please, help me!" I turned and ran for the emergency exit. I reached the stairwell door, but the chains were there, thick, rusted, and unmoving. I spun around, my back against the cold steel. The last working light in the center of the garage began to strobe like a heartbeat. Underneath it stood something. It was over 7 feet tall, its body twisted at angles that would snap a human spine. It didn't run. It glided toward me. And as it passed under the lights, they didn't just turn off. They shattered. Glass rained down and everything went pitch black. I could hear my own ragged breathing and the thumping of my heart in my ears. Then, a sudden freezing breath on my neck. It smelled like stagnant water and old earth. I grabbed my suitcase with both hands. I smashed it against the door handle with every ounce of strength I had. The lock snapped. I dived into the stairwell and didn't stop running until I burst out onto the street. I quit that job the next morning. My manager told me he sent security down there to check, and they found nothing. I think he genuinely thought I'd lost my mind, telling him that something was living underneath the building. To this day, I can't step into an elevator. A cold sweat breaks out just being near one. I can still feel that breath on my neck, and oh God, that smell.